Hey friends, welcome back to Reed Road Rambling. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, listen, I was thinking about back when I was a mom with a bunch of kids. Okay, I had kids once. I think of that when I see these moms with these little ones and they're going through their stuff, and I think I had kids once. I had babies once. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure what made me think of this story of when I had babies once. Maybe it has something to do with going to the dentist or something. I'm not quite sure why. But I was thinking of this story tonight and I have to share it with you. It's a funny memory for me. I remember I had at least 5 kids with me. Okay, I have 9 children, so I had at least 5. And our dentist used to be so good to us, man. They just block off a whole morning. Yeah, bring them in. Just block off the morning. 2-3 hours, bring them in. They were so wonderful to us. My pediatrician was wonderful to us too. So kudos to all the help I got when I had kids, when I had babies at home. But I remember one day we had to take the kids, I had to take the kids to the dentist, and it was probably a 35-minute trip, okay? It was in wintertime and it was snowing. All right, but man, when a dentist bends over backwards to block off a couple hours for your family, you don't cancel. All right, you don't do that. So got the kids in the car. We're going to drive to the dentist. Made this 35-40 minute trip. Snowing like crazy, snowy roads, but it was okay. We did fine. We got there. And when we got there, I remember the van broke down. I can't remember what the terms were, if it started putting on the way, but we got to the dentist office and the van broke down in the parking lot, okay? So here's me, and I'm going to say 5 kids. It might have been 6. It was at least 5. We go into the dentist, getting ready, taking our turns. Everybody's behaving themselves, going to take their turn in the dentist chair, the whole bit. And I'm sitting there. I couldn't even think about anything other than, how am I going to get home with all these kids? And I remember sitting there looking out the window, and the snow is coming down. It's snowing worse and worse and worse. It was almost to like the severe snowstorm stage. It's like, we're having a blizzard now. I'm 35 minutes away and my van is sitting here broken. I didn't know anybody in that town. I didn't know what to do. And I was distracted by thinking about what I was going to do. I think I might have made a couple phone calls. The secretary let me use her phone, before cell phone days, and just trying to process, how am I going to get these kids home? I got a couple hours to figure this out. And I remember there was no one else in the waiting room because me and my kids took up the whole morning, except one fella. And that guy at that time was about my age, I think, and he maybe a little older at that time. And he was sitting in a chair reading a magazine, and there was a chair between us, and I was sitting in the next chair. And I was just so deep in thought trying to figure out, how am I going to get these kids home? How am I going to get this van fixed? What am I going to do here? So I remember sitting there really deep in thought, thinking of all these different ideas. And all of a sudden, I had a brainstorm. And I can't tell you what it was because I don't remember. I don't remember how we got home, though we did. Okay. And I sat there and I went, And I turned to the guy next to me and I said, I have a thought. And he put down his magazine and he turned to me and he said, you have a thought? And I answered back, I have a thought. And both me and the guy, for probably 45 seconds, just stared at each other with our fingers in the air and just looked at each other and didn't say a word. And I didn't know what to say. And he didn't know what to say. So after about 45 seconds, we both just turned away from each other. He put his magazine back up in front of his face, and I went back to pondering, how were I going to get all these little children home during a snowstorm? I'm pretty sure that guy got called in to the dentist chair. I was like, thank God he did. Oh my gosh. I turned to a strange man and said I had a thought. And he was so courteous. He said, you have a thought? Yeah, I got a thought. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Just kind of let that sink in. I have a thought.